What is going on, DeRosa Insiders? This is Matt Faircloth. Welcome to the Cash Flow Digest show. What is your morning routine that creates the unstoppable you that you are?
Okay.
What is going on, DeRosa Insiders? This is Matt Faircloth. Welcome to the Cash Flow Digest show. I am super pumped for today's show. I also want to just express some gratitude before we get into this awesome show we have for you guys, our audience, and for wherever you guys are watching me, whether you guys are watching me on Spotify while you're maybe working out on the treadmill, while you're out and about. You can watch the video and the audio. The entire program is on Spotify. Maybe also watching a bit of this on YouTube, or you could be lucky enough to be a member of the DeRosa Insiders community, which is on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/DeRosa Insiders, or just go to Facebook in the search bar and search for DeRosa Insiders. It is a capital F free community that you guys can join to talk all things real estate. You guys can watch live, leave comments, ask questions on this live program to myself and the DeRosa team as we broadcast this show. What are you guys waiting for? Take the time right now. Go to DeRosa Insiders on Facebook and join the community, and we'll see you there. I got to meet this guest years and years ago when we started doing business in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is, as they say in Fayetteville. They just kind of let it fall out of your mouth, right? A former member of the United States military, did a lot of great services to our country. A super rising star in the real estate world in Fayetteville. Phenomenal real estate expert, a juggernaut, a rising star in the real estate community. I don't know if she's ever had a bad day ever in her life. And so we're going to bring her on now. I've got Shelby Johnson. Welcome to the Cash Flow Digest show. How are you?
Hey, Matt. I am doing so well. You're right. Never a bad day in my whole life. Just kidding. I am so excited to be here.
You've got like the best vibe, the best energy. I find that I have a better day. I did 2 miles on my treadmill, which you can kind of see over there, right? I went a little faster than I normally do. And I'm feeling like 11 out of 10 right now because I pushed myself physically in the morning.
Totally.
And so I know that you're super in tune with your physical health, right? So is a lot of your energy, vibe, your aura, your positivity, if you had to pin it, your super positive energy, where is it from?
It's from so many different things. It's just all of the little things that stack upon each other. It's the snowball effect in real life. I would be like, okay, I love sleep. In bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then I'm doing this thing lately where I don't even set an alarm. I just naturally get up at 5:30. And
That's awesome.
I start, my miracle morning routine that I've been doing for years now. And diet and water, not diet as in restriction, just like being really conscious about the food that I put into my body. It's all the things.
It's all of it, right? It's like 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 10 out of 10, right?
I do have the off days.
Yeah, we all do, but it's probably not like a 1 out of 10 day that it would be if you didn't do all the stuff that you just said, right? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. For those that have been living under a rock and never heard of you in the world, can you give our audience just a quick rundown, a quick Shelby introduction?
Yes, I was in the Army for 6 years and got out in 2018 to pursue real estate full time as an investor first. That was my dream, buy a couple properties and just get the cash flow, financial freedom right off into the sunset. Then I realized I needed to make money in order to buy these assets. And so I got my license. So 2018 was the year of figuring out real estate investing, figuring out real estate agent life, and acquiring properties. Did some BRRRR deals. Ended year one, I had 16 doors and was Keller Williams Rookie of the Year for the agent side of the house, and then built Five Pillars, continued to invest.
Just blaze over that, man. You were what for the...
It was, Keller Williams, that firm. I was the Rookie of the Year for all of North and South Carolina my first year. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. You only get one chance to make Rookie of the Year, right? You can't do a do-over on Rookie, right?
Yeah.
So congratulations on that. That's awesome. Then moved the Five Pillars brand. You've now joined the absolute juggernaut of real estate world, EXP, right?
Yes. That happened year 2 of agent life. It's after Five Pillars had been created, we decided to move from Keller Williams to EXP.
For those that are people watching, why are people like yourself that I know that are EXP absolute, like the biggest EXP fans ever? So why EXP? Why is it different? Why is it amazing?
I think it's great, but like I'm a Five Pillars fan. That's what I am. And that's our community within EXP. But the reason why we chose to move our community to that brokerage is it's kind of the first like cloud-based technology forward brokerage of the future. So like a lot of people compare it to all the other brokerages are Blockbuster, and EXP it's the evolution, and they made a lot of smart decisions to set it up in a way that promotes helping other people within the organization, and having the highest level people throughout the country train and give back to the community, as opposed to just the best person at your local like Fayetteville brokerage is being the one teaching. So it's really smart. EXP it's very smart the way they did it.
They dissolve some of the geographic boundaries that used to exist around real estate, as I understand, right? How do they do that?
Yeah, it's one brokerage nationwide, as opposed to like hypothetically, they have different market centers, like it's a franchise in all of these different locations. And so when you are trying to move from, Fayetteville to Charlotte, me specifically, I would have had to make the choice of leaving one of my market center, going to start another one. Now there's two different leaderships, there's two different caps, there's two different split structures, and it's just madness. But with EXP, it's all one. Yep. So you have one cap no matter where you go. Even if you're licensed in freaking 20 states, you still have the one cap, and you still have the one system for processing and for referrals, like you mentioned. Like, it's very smooth. Yep.
And there's not like a full sticks and bricks asset that you have to maintain and uphold in each market that you want to expand into.
I love it.
Yeah. It changed the game, right? And the game changes every here and again.
I agree with what you're saying about there's always going to be an evolution. And that's one of the things I like about it too with EXP in general, is that they are very invested in the feedback that they get from the agents and paying attention to the technology. And so the evolution is consistent, which is, it's refreshing, because how many organizations have you been in where you're like, this is the way we've done it?
The least favorite thing I ever hear anybody say is, we do it this way because we've always done it this way.
Yeah.
And it's like we live in such a changing world that that's actually almost a good excuse to not do it that way. It's because we've always done it that way, because the world's changing so quickly right now in real estate in general, that you don't have the luxury of figuring out a method and not changing it. What is 5 pillars? Why 5? Why not 7? Why not 2? Right?
So 5 pillars is where agents go to stop being agents and start being business owners. What I found throughout the industry, and I've been in this industry now for years and years, I've found that real estate agents don't understand that they're actually business owners, and therefore they don't treat their operation as such. Yep. And the 5 pillars of business were this. And by the way, Matt, this has evolved. If you would have asked me this in 2018, I would have had a different answer. We got to revolve, reflect, adjust, and overcome, and all the things. But they are the 5 pillars of business. And we also have the foundational 5 character traits of what it means to be a pillar. So there are 2 different aspects of what 5 pillars means. And the entrepreneur incubator that we've evolved into has also changed from when we're an entrepreneur incubator, Matt. The business piece is like the bedrock. So that is your vision. That is your strategy. It is your structure. And a lot of personal organization. It's the bedrock in which you build the business. Then the 3 middle pillars for the agent life is marketing, bringing in the business, sales, converting the business, and then the delivery of the product. So contract to close in the agent world. And then that last pillar that no one likes to talk about that much is the finances. Because if you don't have financial health, you don't have a grasp on your business at all.
Yeah, man. You're building better people.
Yes, dude. Like, freaking stoked about it. Like, I am hyped.
I really love that you've gone beyond like the Monday through Friday 8 to 5 job. What do you do for a living? Well, I'm a realtor. That's what I do. No, I own a real estate business, and this real estate business I'm a part of is helping me become a better human being too, by the way.
Yeah. You guys use the words transformation in your tagline.
Transforming lives through real estate.
I love that. When I read it, I was like, that's beautiful. And I feel like it's similar to how I feel about
it. Is. DeRosa wants to make the world a better place through the investments that we do, right? So that translates to our tenants living a better life, and instead of a place to stay, it becomes home, right? Uber commitment to safety. So everybody from the single mom to the kid walking home at 8 o'clock at night through our apartment community should feel 100% safe, walking around what we own, right? In addition to that, the employees should feel like super sense of purpose for helping us build what we're building, that it's more than a job. That's like, purpose. That's why they're here. And additionally, our investors are meeting their financial goals where they know that they're making a difference. So that's what Transforming Lives Real Estate is all about. And it's very in line with what 5 Pillars is doing, that it's not just about, I just make money as a realtor and let me get some commissions and whatnot. No, it's let me elevate myself as a human.
For sure.
High five.
High five.
A bit about your investing background, and I know you've changed it up a little bit. Shelby 1.0 was Airbnbs and BRRRR strategy stuff. I see you kind of got into the real estate world, right? So what's been like your journey? Like, rewind yourself to talk about like that and as it grew and it expanded, and then maybe how as it transitioned.
Matt, investor first in my heart and soul. Like for real, that's when getting out of the army, that was like my main thing. And it was my main thing for years. And what I did is, I did my very first rental property. It was a duplex. I put 25% down. It was only $75,000 in Fayetteville, but still when I was closing, I was like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Like I don't have this money to just cough up all the time. So then I was like, how do I do this? Right. I remember running the numbers and rerunning and like looking around being like, why is no one buying this? Cause I'm pretty sure it's a good deal, but it's your first one. So you don't like really know. And it had been on the market for 74 days. Like, anyway, so then I was like, wow, I have to figure out how to continue to acquire property without the money, that I just didn't have it. So then I stumbled upon the BRRRR strategy and private money. And I know you literally like wrote the book on, yep. And so that's what I did. And from the very beginning, especially in Fayetteville, where the BRRRR strategy made a lot of sense. Like there were a ton of foreclosures on the market. The price points were low, and then you could renovate and refinance and have that 1% or more rent tenant right in. Like it was a beautiful, magical time. And then this was in 2019 after I'd been doing the BRRRR strategy. I was like, but it was actually one of the pillars, him, Dan Kidd. He tested it first. He decided I'm going to do Airbnb this is in the beginning of 2019. So like people weren't talking about it yet. He's like, I'm going to test it. We're going to see how it goes. And it crushed. And we were like, this is it. And so started doing the BRRRR and B strategy. So instead of that long-term, we put the short-term rental in at the end. And we were like, wow, this is amazing. And back then there were less than 100 short-term rentals in all of Fayetteville and like the surrounding areas, like the entire big circle.
People are like, wait a minute, that's not Myrtle Beach. There's no carousel. There's no ocean to go to. Why would people want to go vacation in Fayetteville, North Carolina? And not for nothing, they don't go vacation there. But tell me why Fayetteville is a phenomenal Airbnb location.
That is a great question. Good point. So there's this thing called Fort Bragg, but it's actually renamed to Fort Liberty, North Carolina. Yeah, it's a huge military
installation in the world. You know that?
Yes, it is. It's a big boy. And so with that, there for every unit, which I was in a unit of 700 infantry dudes back when I was in the day, there would be deployments, people leaving, to go deploy. There would be redeployments. There would be retirement ceremonies. There would be promotion ceremonies. These different little reasons. All of that traffic is one huge reason. Another reason is they have very large VA hospitals in the Fayetteville area, and that's the nurses. And then the third main reason is that North Carolina is that direct halfway point that Fayetteville right off of the interstate for New York to Florida. So those people who are they pit stop. So for all of these reasons combined, there was actually a high demand for short-term rentals.
Got it. So the short-term rental, Airbnb short-term rental business in Fayetteville was kind of like under the sheets. Didn't really exist. The hotels were getting a lot of the transient action. And you guys, among a few others, were ones that said, oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Let's BRRRR. So then it does that. And then what happens?
Yeah, so it exploded. After that, it's saturated. So when I first got into the game, it was less than 100. When I checked probably a year ago at this point, there were over 800. When we started our short-term rentals, it's like, honestly, Airbnb was started with someone who just made their room into a rental. Like it wasn't these huge, elaborate designs. Over time, the rental rates in Fayetteville have just skyrocketed. So at a point, you're doing an analysis and you're like, wow, this one is high responsibility with the turnovers, with the fact that you can't get cleaners who want to clean for a consistent time. It's just a challenge. And even though I wasn't self-managing, you're either doing the thing or you're managing the person. So I was on the person, trying to get this. And I was just like, I sat back and I'm like, this isn't worth it anymore when I do the numbers. And that's why we made the decision. I don't know if you're seeing this too, but I'm seeing like a lot of romanticizing a property where, it's like, oh, well, if everything goes perfect and if these, like then it'll be great. And it's their desire to acquire an asset just overcomes the fact that there's a lot of realities that the romanticizing won't matter. Tiny side story that I thought was interesting is, so on the short-term rentals, of course, like I put on the internet what I was seeing, and I, when we went to do the shutting down, we did these giant yard sales, right? And the people who came in, I would say at least 90% of the people who bought our furniture and decor, I would say, hey, what are you buying this for? And they're saying to set up my Airbnb. to start my rental. So everyone wants to do it. It sounds really cool, but you know, when you're telling yourself like it won't happen to me, then just I don't know. Did you get my
But
point?
you didn't like tell them like, hey, don't do it. You can
No, I
still
did.
you can still buy the furniture, but don't do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what I did. I was like, guys, like these are the numbers. This is the stats. This is what I saw. I really hope this furniture works better in your house than it does in mine, but I just don't see. And they were just like, oh, we're going to do it, which their prerogative. But as an investor, it's just, you have to be unemotional when running your numbers.
What is next for Shelby Johnson? You know,
what is next?
What is next? What's Shelby 3.0, right? I mean, what's like as you continue to grow Five Pillars, like what should we be looking out for from Shelby? What's like a BHAG or a big, hairy, audacious goal that you got or something like that that's coming down the pipeline for you?
Well, I'm really excited about podcasting right now. So so myself and one of the pillars, Ali Garsed, started the Agent Goldmine, theagentgoldmine.com. And that is our podcast for agents. And then after starting that, I'm friends with Aaron Amuchastegui. We got to talking about like his long-term goals for the Real Estate Rockstars podcast and made an impromptu decision to have me on as like a guest host without an end state. So I've like taken over a lot of the hosting responsibilities for that podcast. And it's so fun. And it's way more challenging than I thought it was going to be because I'm so used to being interviewed. I'm like, oh, they're easy. You just show up and you talk about your life. Of course, like you don't have to prepare because you've lived
so much harder to interview other people, isn't it?
Oh my God. I had no idea how hard it would be to like pull out the best in them, ask the right questions, timing, like all of these things. So I'm back in this phase that I haven't felt in years where I'm like, whoa, there's so much to learn. And there's always so much to learn, of course, but this is like a new arena.
We should all be growing a little bit, right? We should all be in like new territories and newness and that. And that's awesome. And I think that you're going to continue to flourish in that because your excitability and everything like that and your chattiness is just going to expand over into being a host. If it's anything like I have to deal with, it's just I've got to be a little more organized than I'm used to with regards to like having notes and having like, having to watch the clock and making sure the conversation is interesting. And it feels like if I'm hosting an interview, I want it to feel like Matt and Shelby sitting down for a cup of coffee and the audience just happens to be the third person at the table, and I try and ask what they're thinking as it comes up and everything like that. So, but it's great. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet good people too, right?
Before when I was like in the waiting room or whatever, I was like listening to you go. And I literally messaged Vinny on the side being like, he can talk and flow and get like, you have a gift, my friend.
Thank you. I know. I think I was like a radio DJ back in the day or something like that. I appreciate you.
Besides the podcasting thing though, the other thing that I'm excited to work on within Five Pillars Nation is we just went to like an all-in-one platform. We had like a bunch of different systems and now we're on the 1st of September about to launch this new platform. And we're going to integrate some courses within it about those 5 pillars of business and then also create skill levels throughout it. So like the first level and with the 5th level, again, we're back at 5, is out of the business. And so you can it's either a sellable business or, you're picking and choosing how much participation you want to be in. So not only will it be like teaching how to build the business, but also put it on a graph with a goal in the end of the mind to import, insert the pieces of leverage, the hires, the systems. So that way at the end, the gold at the end of the rainbow is having a sellable business if they choose. So that's the other stuff we're working on.
That's awesome. And I cannot wait to hear more about that. If people want to hear more about you and connect with you because they want to join the juggernaut, the freight train, the unstoppable rocket ship that is Five Pillars Realty, if they want to join that or maybe have you as an interview or maybe even get interviewed by you, whatever means they want to reach out to you, how do people do that?
The most direct way is on Instagram. It's The Shelby Show. But also go check out fivepillarsnation.com, go to theagentgoldmine.com for Ali and our podcast, and then Real Estate Rockstars if you want to hear me there. But on Instagram, like hit me up, shoot me a DM or whatever, because what I'm focusing on now is the talking to more people, the podcasting, and I'm really invested in helping other people grow. So I would just love to talk to you.
Sweet. Right. Cool. So thank you. Whatever audience members wanted to know, before you two are done, can you both share your morning routine? Right. So Shelby, you got to go first because I have a reason why, but you go first. Okay. What is your morning routine that creates the unstoppable you that you are?
Okay, so ideally I wake up without an alarm. I have like a further out stop just in case I don't wake up for some reason, but usually it's around 5 a.m.
Okay.
And then I hit the coffee and like I turn it on, and then I get this giant cup. It's actually a bigger version of this, which you can't see. So it's a little
Yeah.
bigger than this, and it's water with, I have a whole lemon in it, and then salt. And I drink as much as that as possible. And then the coffee with the collagen and then some of the little vitamins. So after that, and I wake up and then I light a candle and I go and I do. So this whole thing, like, don't look at your phone, don't touch technology, go to a notebook, and I run through a part of Savers. I usually don't do the whole thing. This is a miracle morning thing where you do like silence, affirmations, visualization.
So you got to set aside like 2.5 hours in the morning for you to do Savers. Not for nothing. I mean, I love Hal Elrod. I know you
Oh
have
yeah. I used to think that I had to do all of them every day, but
right.
I don't do that anymore. I just do like the pieces that I need, and I try to think through, like, just let thoughts come to me, because that's when I will come up with all the ideas or the things that I'm missing. Whereas if I just go straight into technology, I just am reacting to everything that's there, and I'm not actually like letting all the things. And so after that, then I usually work on my computer for a little bit, and then it's like 7:30-ish, and then I'll go for a run and do some like body weight stuff, and then shower and start the day. Eat breakfast.
Nice. What time are you on your desk at the day?
Yeah, so I've already hit it before, because after a miracle morning, like I will like do a chunk of emails, which is, so it's probably like an hour before I start my run, probably like 6:30, maybe 6:30.
Okay. Do you do intermittent fasting, or do you like eat a meal after your workout, like, before you're on your desk, or do you typically wait a bit till you consume food?
So lately I have been waiting, and it's not because I'm like consciously fasting. I just know that I feel really good without the energy that it takes to consume food. So lately I've been eating like my first bit probably around 10. And then I'll eat again at like probably like 1, and then dinner at like 5 or 6.
There you go. Okay, so that's awesome. Short answer for mine is I don't have a religious morning routine as well as Shelby does. Every day I get up, and this is like totally stupid thing, but it is in the miracle morning. Like, some people get up in the morning and they'll put on a bathrobe or put on like the clothes they wore yesterday, or a pair of shorts, or their morning outfit or whatever. I put on workout gear. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I always put on like my workout shorts and workout shirt. And I might wear them for a little while in the morning to, I got 2 young kids, because I might have to like crack the whip and go to dad mode and get the kids out the door or whatever. But I'm always, when I first get up in the morning, I always put on my workout outfit, because then it like kind of forces a workout, because I'm dressed for it, right? And that might mean I work out at like noon, even though I'm dressed throughout my morning. So a lot of my team at DeRosa might be used to seeing Matt in his, a fancy pants workout shirt, because that's what I wear when I wake up. I also, like Shelby, I chug around a liter of water. I try and drink as fast as I can right when I get up. And then I will, when I do, I'll get up and journal. And my journal is just writing like some like thoughts like that are coming out of me. A lot of times what I do, Shelby, is I use my journal as a means to dump my negative thoughts. And so I'll pull up my journal and I'll be straight honest with myself. Like, I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm not, I'm really afraid that this is going to happen or whatever. And I kind of feel like it goes out of my mouth or out of my hand and out of my brain, it's out there. We don't need that anymore. It's released. And then I will, when I do, I'll read my goals. Then I'll knock out a workout, and then I do my vitamin regimen after my workout, and then lots of coffee. And then I try not to eat till, if I do weights, like physical weights, like weightlifting, I'll do a meal. If I don't, I wait till noon to eat. So but if I do weights, I've been told they're supposed to consume protein powder, so I consume like a reasonable amount of protein right after my workout. I said a lot of if I do, because I give myself a lot of grace, and we have to do that. You shouldn't beat yourself up if you don't do some of these things. So when I do, that's what my day looked like. So it's good to have habits, and it's good to kick your day off the right way. Thank you real quick for your interview and for joining me on the Cash Flow Digest, and I'll see you in a second. Okay.
Bye. Thank you.
Cool. Bye. Hey guys, Matt Faircloth here. Thank you for listening again to the Cash Flow Digest. I really appreciate you guys doing that. If you guys want to hear more about what DeRosa Group has to offer, go to DeRosa Group, DeRosa Group.com, DeRosaGroup.com online. You can hear about all the great things that we offer from an educational standpoint and passive investment standpoint on our website. See you there. And if you guys want to join our online community, DeRosa Insiders on Facebook, where you can watch this program get recorded every Friday at noon Eastern, and you can come on as even a guest or ask questions on the show. We hope to see you guys on our online community, DeRosa Insiders. See you there.